Hi, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report. I'm so happy that you've taken the time to take a look at what's happening at the County Council here in Rockville, and I'm so happy that you've tuned in to my office, your office here, to hear a little bit about what we've been working on. Many of you might have read editorials and articles in both the newspaper and seen on television that we dealt with a very tumultuous topic of collective bargaining with our existing police officers. And as you can imagine, I've heard opinions from all sides on this issue, and I've spent a lot of time talking to a lot of stakeholders at great length, including Mark Zifkak, who's the president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 35 that represents our hardworking police officers, as well as from Chief Manger, whose responsibility is to make sure that our department operates efficiently and make sure that our streets are safe. And those different points of views were not taken lightly, and it was a very difficult decision that faced the council. But I want to be very clear about what this bill does. This bill only changes one area of where the executive has the duty to bargain with certified representatives of the police officers, the Fraternal Order of Police. It makes changes to the scope of bargaining with those representatives, and it only deals with changes that are required to bargain over the effects on employees. And I think that that's really important to understand, because this bill does nothing to deal with an effect on any of the other rights or terms of the collective bargaining agreement or the contract with the Fraternal Order of Police. Several council members, including myself, argued during the discussion prior to the vote of approval for this bill that it is important for us to maintain the rights of the contract for our police officers, as well as to maintain the collective bargaining rights that are set up in our existing code. And I think that that's extremely important. We want to hear from you if there are difficulties that are an outcome of this bill. And our commitment remains that should there be problems that exist, that you contact us and we either seek remedies via working with our executive department or enacting some sort of legislation to ensure that they don't occur again. That is my commitment to you. And while I understand that this is a difficult time in which we've changed a lot of other benefits, haven't been able to achieve the steps and COLAs or pay increases that all of our hardworking county employees deserve, this is what we needed to do to ensure the fiscal stability, but also the, I think, operational stability of the police department. I very much value our county employees, especially those that put their lives on the line for us each and every day and protect our constituents. And I think that we're very fortunate to have a fantastic group of people who serve us in that capacity, who ensure our safety and routinely display outstanding courage and valor. And I want to reach out to them and tell you that I thank you for all that you do for us each and every day. I want to talk to you about something that's been a focus of ours for a number of months now, that you continue to hear about in every edition of the Rice Report, and that's Clarksburg. And I'm happy to report that we are moving on track and continuing to see promise and progress. I know that Newland Communities gave a report to the planning board this past Thursday and let them know that they are seeking to strike an agreement with an outside company to come in and take over for them. And I think that's a promise and a step moving forward. And while I don't like to vilify people, I understand that unfortunately the Newland name has baggage that's associated with it, and unfortunately I think it stands in the way of us being able to move forward. And so I'm encouraged in working with the new representatives for Newland Homes in Clarksburg, as well as many of the other developers that represent land in Clarksburg, to ensure that our vision moves forward. We've taken the right steps so far, and I think that throughout this recess and over the fall, we will continue to take more steps to ensure that the residents of Clarksburg that are there and the future residents have the infrastructure and, frankly, the town and community that they were promised. There are some promising new things on the horizon, and I'm happy to report that are happening in Germantown. This August 1st, we will open the Miracle League baseball field. And this is a great opportunity for those that have disabilities to be able to enjoy the sport of baseball. And in conjunction with the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and the Washington Nationals, who were great sponsors in making sure that this dream came to fruition, many children from across the county and across the state who have disabilities will be able to enjoy our national pastime. I'm very happy and proud to say that this is happening within my district, and is a testament to the commitment of Montgomery County to make sure that it's inclusive for all of our residents. There are some upcoming protests that will happen this week that many of you have heard about as well, regarding the Summer of Mercy. And while you may fall on both sides of the issue regarding pro-choice or pro-life, we are hoping that these demonstrations will be peaceful. I know that we've met from stakeholders from both sides, as well as with our Chief of Police and our District Commander, Captain Luther Reynolds, and have laid out a game plan as well as expectations to ensure that our residents that aren't participating in these protests and demonstrations will be able to continue on with their daily lives. But we also respect and understand that people have the right to have their voices and opinions heard. And we just, again, encourage those folks that do participate in these demonstrations and protests to do so in a peaceful manner. We are approaching recess, and this will be my first recess for the council. And typically the council goes on recess from the beginning of August through the beginning of September. And while this is an opportunity for many to be able to get a well-needed relaxation and rest, I am going to seize this opportunity to learn more about my district and to also work on continuing projects that I think are going to be extremely important to the community. Our school resource officers, the program that we were able to hang on to with 6 school resource officers, still needs to be expanded. And during this recess, I will be having meetings with both the Board of Education as well as our Chief of Police and education committee members within the County Council to understand more about some of the challenges that face our children as far as safety goes, and to make sure that we're delivering on making sure that our children can learn in a safe environment. I think that it's extremely important for us to understand that as the influx of gangs and increases in crime that we look to curb with a curfew can also be mitigated by having community policing. And one of the best forms of community policing is having officers in our schools building relationships with those same children that we oftentimes find falling on the other side of the law. One of the other projects that I'm going to be working on is working with our firefighters to make sure that we craft a Fill the Boot campaign that is extremely successful. Many of you know that we ran into challenges regarding the ability of firefighters to walk in the streets. We wanted to make sure that their safety was tantamount. It was our responsibility as a council to ensure that as our employees, we weren't advocating for people putting themselves in harm's way. And so I've pledged to work with and have had numerous conversations with John Sparks, with the International Association of Firefighters, to ensure that whatever help I can give to make sure that this fundraiser is a success is extremely important. And so we'll be working on some of those planning aspects, so look forward to more details coming soon. One of the other projects that I'm extremely concerned about is economic development here in Montgomery County. Our biotech sector has been known for quite some time, and the I-270 corridor is known worldwide. However, as other states and other countries ramp up their efforts to attract biotech firms, we stand to lose ground. And so it's extremely important for us to craft a very aggressive and smart plan to attract biotechnology companies to Montgomery County. And so I'm looking forward to working with our Department of Economic Development, with Steve Silverman, and also with Lily Chi, who's recently been appointed as the county executive's representative to deal with biotechnology issues to ensure that we remain at the forefront of the biotechnology sector. Now, many of you have commented as you've seen me at various community meetings throughout the county that I've crisscrossed the district, making sure that I'm hearing from you about the issues that are important to you. And I wanted to lay out a few meetings that we have upcoming for this fall. For my folks in Germantown who said that they felt left out, I can assure you that that's not the case at all, but wanted to let you know we do have a community meeting scheduled for September 12th. For my folks in Montgomery Village, we have a community meeting set for September 26th, and for my Olney residents, a community meeting set for October 24th. And more details will be coming about locations and exact times of those meetings, but did want to let you know that I remain committed to reaching out to you in all aspects, via media as well as in person, to ensure that I'm understanding what's going on and making sure that your needs are met when it comes to addressing the needs of our community. I want to thank you for contacting me and listening to me and reaching out to me over these past 7 months. This has been an extreme learning curve for me in understanding the myriad of challenges facing Montgomery County, but also understanding the great and fantastic things that we do. And I remain very encouraged by some of the decisions that we made, albeit tough, but I think that put us on a fiscally sustainable path, but also put us on a path to where we are prepared to rebound very quickly in the near future. So I encourage you to keep contacting me, to reach out to my office. You can always call us direct at 240-777-7955, or you can always reach us on the web. Our website is www.montgomerycountymd.gov, or you can also reach me at my Facebook page, Councilmember Craig Rice. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Rice Report from my office, your office here in Rockville. Thank you, and God bless.